Welcome back, everybody, from the Liberatory CPA Studios. I'm Rick Amato. This is Politics and Profits. I have two very special guests who you'll meet at this time. Joining me in studio, as she has often done in the past, is actress, author, activist, and the former fiance of deceased U.S. Ambassador Christopher Stevens, Lydie Denier. Lydie, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Rick.
And let me point out your book. It's a great book, A Voice for Ambassador J. Christopher Stevens. I get that on camera here. And so that's something we'll be talking about throughout the show.
Yes, thank you.
Also in studio is the editor-in-chief, ladies and gentlemen, of a hot new website. I say new, it's been around since January 2017. I discovered it about 5 weeks ago. It is called Disobedient Media. Disobedientmedia.com. Love the name. It is hot. Check it out. Editor-in-chief, the founder of Disobedient Media, Will Craddick. Will, good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Before we get into some issues, you have something coming up that's very important. Not until September, but September's around the corner. It is called the March for Justice. Lydie, why don't you take a moment and tell our viewers across America about the March for Justice?
Thank you. So March for Justice, it's going to be on September 10th. So obviously in memory of September 11th of what happened with the Twin Towers, but also Benghazi, because Benghazi has been forgotten and buried very quickly after Chris's death. So it's a March for Justice, and it's to educate people, trying to, and also have the media, take turns at saying fake news, and so it's called March for Justice. It's September 10th, and stay tuned because it's going to be launched all over nationwide July 5th.
This will be in cities across the country?
Cities across the country, yes.
Okay.
And I'll be one of the speakers in Los Angeles.
Marchforjustice.online.
Yes.
I believe we're showing that on the screen. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. July 5th is the announcement, huh?
Announcement, yes.
Okay. A story, and you're related to a story. I want to turn to Will here. The way I discovered Disobedient Media is you were reporting on a story that should be reported on by CNN, Fox, MSNBC, LA Times, New York Times, what? None of them are reporting on it. And that is the lawsuit against the DNC against their donors. And this ties into Benghazi in some way. Briefly tell us what's going on here, Will.
Yeah, so after the WikiLeaks email releases during the U.S. election revealed a lot of primary fraud going on in the Democratic candidate selection process, a number of donors to the Democratic Party, mostly who I believe gave to Bernie, sued the DNC because they have a cause of action due to all the corruption that was going on. The DNC actually did violate their own bylaws, which state that they are supposed to choose the candidate in an impartial manner, even though they've actually turned around and argued in court that they're actually not required to do that. But the lawsuit has really put them in the hot seat, and there's a number of controversies going on the side, which have to do with really wild, sensational stuff. Harassment of plaintiffs and the attorneys litigating the case, deaths of witnesses and other figures who are unrelated.
One of the witnesses died. How'd he die?
I believe that the cause of death is currently stated as a drug overdose.
And do you recall the age of that individual?
I don't.
Seth Rich, was he scheduled to be a witness?
Seth Rich would have actually been one of the witnesses due to the alleged role that he played in the email's releases, from what I understand.
What's your gut tell you? I know you're an investigative journalist. You want to wait till all the facts come in. What does your gut tell you when one witness is dead and a potential witness is dead? Is that just a coincidence?
On its own, it could be a coincidence. But when you look at everything that is happening in the big picture, and you look at the massive amounts of movement online to push certain narratives, and not just online, but in the news, and coming from politicians as well. It's obvious that that people don't want this to get out. And it's because this DNC lawsuit. Well, it's the Pandora's box, and once the lid's open on voting fraud and embezzlement and things like that, well, there's going to be a whole bunch of other issues that are uncovered as well. Foreign influence in American politics, espionage, things of that nature.
Lydie, on the surface, this may not seem like it relates to Benghazi or J. Christopher Stevens, but to my mind, it does.
It does, definitely, because when my book came out last September, I got lots of emails from people saying, there were 47 deaths that the Clinton are involved with. Be careful not to be number 48. So definitely, when you start telling the truth, when you start to uncover like Will is doing, you have to be so careful.
But what about the change of narrative? We hear Will saying the narrative is squash this story.
Oh.
The narrative of Benghazi was
squash.
A YouTube video maker.
YouTube video.
Susan Rice lied.
Yes, she lied. So there was a YouTube video. Then they said that Chris was gay. That's why he was sent to Benghazi to be killed. Then they said that it was Chris's fault that he died because he didn't want security, when in reality, within 6 weeks, he asked for over 600 times for more security. So yes, and then he died, and it's like nothing happened.
They attacked his character too.
Absolutely.
They said he was gay.
You say he was gay, and that's why he got killed. Just because one of his best friends from like 36 years ago put a picture of him and him together. My best friend died, and he cropped the picture because they each were with a date back in the day when they were in school, and they say, "Oh, that is Chris Stevens' gay lover."
Wow.
It's so hurtful.
Listen, we're out of time. I want to bring both of you back again and go into this deeper. But disobedientmedia.com, the DNC story, you're reporting on it, no one else is, and you're letting our viewers know that the narrative is being changed. You are coming out with a big announcement July 5th, marchforjustice.online, and the message you have is don't believe the narrative.
Don't believe them. No, don't believe them. To me, it's like, be careful who your sources are. And I love what Will is doing.
Back after this.
Politics and Profits with Rick Amato is brought to you by Liberatory Accounting, the IRS problem solvers. To find out how Liberatory Accounting can help you, call 877-6-SOLVER. That's 877-6-SOLVER.